Meadow Walker said nothing for years. She was the girl in the background till now, and she was the daughter of Paul Walker. In a quiet yet sincere moment, she eventually revealed Vin Diesel's true identity. Everyone was in awe at what she revealed. Did it involve love? Did Vin and Meadow's relationship seem as ideal as it did? Are we ignorant of anything? And how did the dynamics behind the scenes change in the years following Paul's death? You won't believe how disturbing the truths are, and this is more than just a film. Let's start watching this video. Beyond simply being co-stars, they were more. Paul Walker and Vin Diesel's fraternal bond. You undoubtedly think of the Fast and Furious films when you hear the names Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. However, these two men's narrative is much more than just action sequences in cars. In front of the camera, they were like brothers. Filming the first Fast and Furious in 2000 is when Paul and Vin first met. Their friendship blossomed rapidly. They both had a passion for vehicles, action, and hard labor. However, their shared love of family was what truly united them. They valued loyalty and maintaining their privacy. Vin referred to Paul as Pablo to demonstrate their closeness. Vin claims that Paul helped him develop personally, particularly in the area of fatherhood. Seeing how Paul loved and cared for his daughter Meadow gave Vin hope that he was ready before having his own daughter. While he didn't boast about being a father, Paul made time for Meadow, even rearranging his schedule to accommodate her. Vin told Paul first when he learned he was going to become a father. Vin even gave his youngest daughter Pauline as a tribute to him. As he cut the umbilical cord, he claimed to have thought of Paul. He was that important to him. For Vin, Paul's death in a vehicle accident in 2013 was a devastating blow. He claimed that it was like losing a piece of himself. Vin, though, did not grieve in solitude. He took the initiative to support Paul's family, particularly Meadow, who was just 15 at the time. Since then, Vin has been there for Meadow, whom he names his goddaughter. Paul and Vin were co-stars at first, then best friends, and then family. Vin made no attempt to take Paul's place after he passed away. As a mentor and father figure to Meadow, he instead made the decision to honor Paul. Vin writes about Paul each year to preserve his memory. Fast and Furious became more than just a car movie because of this. It was about loyalty, love, and true friendship. Through pledges and recollections, their brotherhood endures even after Paul's passing. Although Paul Walker was adored by many, the majority of people were unaware of the true identity of the celebrity. Who, then, was Paul Walker in real life before the fancy automobiles and red carpets? And what was his legacy? Join us as we explore this video in greater detail. Prior to his notoriety, his early years, the spotlight, fast vehicles, and the world's recognition of him as Brian O'Connor, Paul Walker was a straightforward Californian boy with untidy blonde hair. Walker 4, Paul William. At Glendale, California, on September 12, 1973. His family wasn't famous in Hollywood. His father, Paul Walker III, was a tough sewer contractor with a spirit of battle. He was indeed a Golden Gloves boxer once. Cheryl, his mother, had a huge grin, strong convictions, and was a stunning fashion model. Paul was the eldest of 5 children raised in a strict Mormon Christian family. Growing up with 3 brothers and a sister, he learned how to be a good big brother by fixing things, praying before supper, and watching out for his siblings. The fact that Paul didn't even want to be a movie star is sometimes unknown. His mother believed he would look nice in diaper ads, so he began acting when he was just 2 years old, not because he wanted to. He did, too. A natural, he was. From advertising for Pampers, he landed modest TV parts in programs including Highway to Heaven, Touched by an Angel, and Charles in Charge. Fame, however, did not alter him. Despite his appearances in films such as Pleasantville and Varsity Blues in the 1990s, he maintained his groundedness. Paul is less likely to be found at a Hollywood party than repairing a car in his garage or surfing in Malibu. The shocking part is this. A career as a marine biologist was Paul's true ambition. He admired Jacques Cousteau. Yes, the renowned ocean explorer is correct. Throughout his life, Paul never lost his love for the ocean, even when he studied marine biology at community college. He actually accompanied National Geographic on an actual shark expedition for Expedition Great White in 2006. Along the Mexican coast, he assisted in tagging great white sharks. Paul could articulate that, something that few actors can do. Driving fast automobiles on film was as natural to him as swimming with sharks in a wetsuit. In the end, The Fast and the Furious in 2001 was his big break. Paul, however, did not behave like a major star even after he achieved fame. He continued to be courteous, laid back, and more enthusiastic about cars than cameras. In real life as well as in movies, he genuinely enjoyed driving. More than 30 cars were part of his personal collection. For example, a rare Nissan Skyline GTR R34, the same model that his character Brian drove in the movies. In addition to movies, he was a businessman. He co-owned Always Evolving, an auto repair firm. There was more to it than just auto repair. In addition to building swift, potent race vehicles, they also participated in professional racing. Paul was involved in every aspect of it. He raced automobiles, worked on engines, and assisted in their design. He was more than a car enthusiast. He truly was one, with a passion for speed in his core and oil on his palms. In addition to vehicles, he was passionate about assisting others. He founded Reach Out Worldwide, a charity, after visiting Haiti in 2010 to assist with earthquake recovery efforts. This organization dispatches medical professionals, nurses, and rescuers to areas affected by earthquakes and other natural disasters. Hurricanes and floods. Paul was a firm believer in doing more than simply writing checks. He turned up, became involved, and inspired others to follow in his footsteps. His charity continues to operate and assist people worldwide even after his death. But Paul was most proud of his daughter, Meadow Walker. She was born in 1998 and spent her first 13 years of life in Hawaii with her mother. After that, she moved to California to live with Paul. Everything changed, so it wasn't just a change of address. When he was able to prepare Meadow's breakfast each day, Paul claimed he felt like a full man at last. He had no desire to be a weekend father. At home as well as on television, he aspired to be her hero. And just. Before he died, he intended to take a lengthy hiatus from performing in order to spend more time with her. Being famous was never important to Paul. For him, his daughter and the ocean were the most important things. As well as vehicles. Vin Diesel was always mindful of that. However, this is when the intriguing part begins. His daughter Meadow began telling him more about her life years after Paul's death. She shares photos, memories, and small items to express how much Dad meant to her. Vin is one person who has always supported her. Like a second father, he filled in. He remained near her and kept his word. But some began to wonder if Vin had gone too far or had done enough. We're going to talk about the real Vin Diesel next, not the movie star, but the man who started it all, and how Meadow might have felt in her heart, even if she didn't express it aloud. Vin Diesel's transformation into a street king via Mark Sinclair. He was simply a little boy named Mark Sinclair before he became Vin Diesel, the street king of Fast and Furious. The day of his birth was July 18, 1967. The Californian county of Alameda. However, he was not there for long. His mother relocated him and his twin brother, Paul, to New York when their parents divorced. Delora, their mother, and Irving Vincent, her new husband, reared them. Mark was treated like his own by Irving, a theatrical teacher who wasn't his biological father. The dream of becoming an actor began there. Vin never had a meeting with his biological father. You can sense the weight of his quiet, despite the fact that he doesn't discuss it very much. That missing component influenced his views on loyalty, love, and family. He's lived by the statement that family isn't always blood ever since he said it. Most surprisingly, Vin received his first acting gig. At the age of 7, he and a few buddies broke into a theater with the intention of damaging it. The theater management, however, handed them scripts and instructed them to perform in a play rather than calling the police. That one occasion transformed everything. Vin earned money as a nightclub bouncer during his adolescence. Vin Diesel was born at that point. Vin was derived from his stepfather's surname name, Vincent. According to his pals, he was constantly bursting with energy, like a diesel engine that never shuts off. Hollywood, however, did not immediately embrace him. Casting directors found it challenging to determine his place because of his mixed-race heritage. Vin chose to make his own spotlight as a result. He created the short film Multifacial, which tells the story of a struggling actor who was unable to get roles due to his appearance. It was Steven Spielberg who saw that little film. Vin was cast in Saving Private Ryan without any further explanation. However, it was his role as Dominic Toretto in The Fast and the Furious in 2001 that was his true breakthrough performance. He became more than just a celebrity because of that role, it made him a legend. On screen, his focus was on strength, speed, and family. He was merely a man attempting to defend those he loved off-screen. Despite Vin's extreme privacy, most people are unaware of this. He has been dating the same beautiful Mexican model, Paloma Jimenez, for more than 15 years. Hania, Vincent, and Pauline are the names of their 3 children together. Vin shields them from the limelight. His late friend Paul Walker did the same with his daughter Meadow. Vin took on the role of Meadow's father figure after Paul passed away in 2013. Vin Diesel made himself into a star, not just becoming one. He transformed grief into love and suffering into power on the streets of Fast and Furious in New York. One thing, however, remained constant throughout. He was always there for his family. The significance of Vin Diesel in Meadow Walker's life. What happened on November 30, 2013, was incredibly terrible. When the automobile collided and caught fire, Paul Walker and his friend were inside. They both failed to make it. Paul was only 40 years of age. Everybody was surprised by the news. However, his daughter Meadow, who is 15 years old, was the one specific person it hurt the most. She lost more than just her father that day. She lost her protector, her greatest friend, and the one who was most important to her. Meadow, Paul's only kid with Rebecca Soteros, spent the majority of her early years in Hawaii with her mother. Far from the flashing lights and cameras, life was peaceful there. But Meadow took a bold step on her 13th birthday. She came to California to live with her father since she wanted to be near him. Both of them were starting over. Paul has always enjoyed his role as a father. But now he could finally be present for all the little things, like dinner conversations, birthday celebrations, and school mornings. He was even going to cut back on his acting in order to spend more time with her. Meadow was more than simply his daughter to Paul. For him, she was everything. That existence, however, abruptly changed. Vin Diesel took over discreetly after Paul's death. He did not take it personally. He had just stopped by to see how Meadow was doing. Spending time with her and demonstrating to her that love was still all around her. He extended an invitation for her to spend time with his own kids. She felt like family with him. Vin claims that seeing Meadow with his kids is one of the most wonderful things that has ever happened to him, and that he felt as though Paul had given him a job to watch over her. He didn't try to take Paul's place. He merely wished to be a reliable person for Meadow. People became aware of their growing proximity as the years passed. Meadow would accompany Vin to events on the red carpet and hang out with his children. Vin named her his niece, but it was obvious to everyone that they had a close relationship, almost like family. And a lovely event occurred in 2021. Meadow married Louis Thornton Allen in the Dominican Republic at a modest beach ceremony. She was escorted down the aisle by Vin. She smiled broadly while holding his arm. He was dressed in a light blue suit. So many people were moved by that moment. Paul wasn't being replaced by Vin. He stood there respectfully and lovingly for him. Vin has helped Meadow in a variety of ways since then. He shares her creations online and gives her props for her modeling skills. Additionally, he contributes to the Paul Walker Foundation, which Paul valued greatly and works to conserve the ocean and assist children. Vin once remarked that learning how to properly support Meadow took time. Grief is difficult, and no one is right thing to do, yet Vin continued to be close, subtly, year after year. Taking care of Meadow, even when no one was looking, was part of his obligation to respect Paul. How did Meadow truly feel about Vin taking on the role of a father figure? Was it something she had to accept or something she desired? Did she experience new emotions that she didn't discuss, or did it lessen the pain? And what brought her return to the world her father had left behind? Meadow Walker jumped in headfirst and caused a commotion. On what would have been Paul's 42nd birthday, Meadow launched the Paul Walker Foundation, a cause near and dear to her heart, following the death of her father. It emphasizes wildlife, the ocean, and assisting youth. Many of Paul's admirers didn't always notice this aspect of him. Without creating any noise, Meadow preserved her father's memory through the foundation. But something shifted. Meadow made an appearance on screen in a brief but impactful scene when Fast X debuted on the big screen. Her character was a flight attendant. Even though her scene lasted only a few seconds, many fans were pleased that people noticed. The amount of time she spent on screen didn't matter to them. It concerned the meaning of that time. She did it her way, and Meadow had quietly entered the world her father had previously dominated. On the internet, she spoke very little about it. She did not take it personally. She has always been like that. Private, courteous, and quiet. And it was evident at the time. Meadow had no desire for notoriety. Family was the reason she was there. Her brief appearance on film, however, generated spectacular blogs and rumors. There were a lot of queries and conjectures raised by this. Is that cameo something Meadow really wants? Or had someone else planned it? How does she truly feel about Vin? And is she prepared to tell the truth at last? The scandals that attempted to separate Vin and Meadow respectively. From the crazy action sequences to the unexpected character reappearances and automobile chases, viewers believed they had seen it all when Fast X was released in 2023. However, the enormous drama brought on by Meadow Walker's brief appearance in the film was unexpected. Meadow briefly made an appearance on screen as a flight attendant. Despite being a minor incident, it sparked a significant online drama. Many of her fans were initially pleased to see her. I thought it was a good approach to honor Paul and preserve his memory. Vin Diesel even enthusiastically posted the video, expressing in an interview how pleased he would have been. But it didn't stop there. Tyrese Gibson and Jordana Brewster, among others, offered their support. The scene appeared to be a lovely full-circle moment. Things soon changed, though. A few began posing challenging queries. Meadow's appearance was either a genuine homage to Paul or a shrewd marketing ploy to appeal to fans' sentiments and increase ticket sales. Meadow didn't truly deserve the part, according to critics. Instead, they referred to it as nepotism by Hollywood because of her well-known family. Social media was a flurry of debates. Whether Meadow was there to memorialize her father or merely to assist the studio was a topic of discussion on Reddit, YouTube, and fan pages. Next, it became a darker drama. There were rumors that Meadow and Vin Diesel were close. Vin had supported Meadow through her difficult times and cared for her like family since Paul's passing. Online rumors, regrettably, started to spread and resulted in incorrect and erroneous presumptions. There was a widely held myth that Vin Diesel had officially adopted Meadow following Paul's death. Even though there isn't any formal confirmation. There were a lot of accusations on social media that Vin had taken up formal guardianship. False headlines made the situation worse. Before long, a lot of admirers were left unsure of what was real and what wasn't. According to some, he used Meadow's image to win over the audience sympathies or make himself appear heroic. They questioned whether or not their intimacy was staged for the cameras. With these theories, the internet became ugly. However, Meadow said nothing. She didn't dispute the web rumors or respond to them. Rather, her priorities were her modeling career, her charitable work with the Paul Walker Foundation, and discreetly preserving her father's legacy. There is more to the truth. Meadow has always had a secluded existence. She makes an effort to avoid all of the rumors and turmoil. Is Meadow quietly establishing herself, or is she enmeshed in the power intrigues in Hollywood? Establishing a life apart from the tumult. What does she actually think about the cameo, the legacy she's carrying, and Vin Diesel? Fans never witnessed the real Vin Diesel, her father, and her life. After her father's death, Meadow Walker remained silent about her life for a long time. Nobody truly knew the whole story, despite seeing pictures and posts featuring Vin Diesel. Meadow recently revealed her feelings in an interview and in emotional Instagram posts. She didn't say much, but what she did convey was completely clear. She captioned her Instagram photos featuring Vin's kids, family forever. Not only because they were co-workers or because of Hollywood, but also because he had supported her through all of her life's significant events. Meadow married in 2021, but it wasn't a lavish star wedding. The Dominican Republic hosted the tiny, private event. Furthermore, she wasn't given away by a friend or family member when it was time to walk down the aisle. It was Vin Diesel. He supported her like a second parent out of genuine concern for her, not attention. Moreover, Vin's principal bridesmaid was Hania, her oldest daughter. Their tight relationship is demonstrated by this. Vin has also expressed his love for Meadow in subdued ways. Paul Walker once shared a brief note on his birthday, expressing his admiration for Meadow. It wasn't a promotion for a film or a press trip. It was simply love from someone who had supported her just when she needed it most. Although Meadow made it apparent that her brief appearance in Fast X was her decision, many fans believed it was something the studio requested. She desired a place in her father's world. Her scene meant a lot to her, despite its briefness. It was her method of re-establishing contact with Paul's memory and paying tribute to the films that shaped his life so much. Her family wholeheartedly agreed with her choice. Even Paul's brother, Cody Walker, gave Vin Diesel credit for filling in and supporting Meadow following the death of her father. That silent encouragement gave her the fortitude she required. There is no truth to the adoption rumors. Meadow has no formal adoption history and continues to go by her father's surname name, Walker. Furthermore, it doesn't appear to be something Vin Diesel would do for show. Love, not titles, has always been the foundation of their relationship. Their relationship is genuine and solid, and Vin genuinely cares for her. Vin and Meadow responded to the outrageous tales without any delay. They refrained from going online to dispel every rumor. Rather, they continued to live with purpose, keep focused on what really mattered, and demonstrate their love with deeds rather than words. There was no need for them to explain their kinship. It was founded on genuine trust and unobtrusive caring, akin to family members who just support one another. It's not easy being the daughter of a well-known actor. Despite feeling the weight of that attention, Meadow has maintained her composure. She chooses what to keep private and what to share. Her actions are still all directed around respecting her father. On the other hand, Vin has always managed their relationship carefully. His posts about Paul or Meadow are not meant to make headlines, rather, he wants everyone to know that their love is genuine. What, then, was the sinister secret that for years people had been discussing? No one existed. The truth was in Meadow's remarks. She had received nothing but love and protection from Vin Diesel. No drama was present. They were only two individuals who had been reunited by tragedy. Who, in a very tangible sense, became family, showing us that family isn't just about blood. There are times when it's about who shows up, who sticks by you, and who loves you no matter what. The truth is now at last known, and the rumors were never true. Paul Walker left behind a legacy that continues to shine. Paul Walker's influence can still be seen in real life as well as in the Fast and Furious movies, even after all these years. Even though he is no longer with us, the world he helped create has endured. After he passed away, the franchise made a significant decision. His character, Brian O'Connor, was not written off as they had anticipated. They allowed him to continue in the narrative instead. Family meals, driving into the sunset, and raising his children are all still part of Brian's life in the Fast world. Even his empty seat at the table is displayed in a silent period in Fast X. Paul's favorite automobile, both on and off screen, is a blue Nissan Skyline that comes into the driveway in the last scene. They were expressing that Paul and Brian were still present. In the background, his influence is equally potent. The organization Paul founded in 2010, Reach Out Worldwide, continues to make significant strides. It is now operated by his brother Cody. Additionally, they have assisted in more than 70 significant catastrophes as of 2024, including earthquakes, wildfires, and hurricanes. When rescue crews, physicians, and builders are unable to act quickly enough, they are called in. Paul never intended for anything to draw notice. He merely wished to assist. To this day, the ensemble is still motivated by the same peaceful spirit. Cody is the leader of FuelFest, a worldwide car festival that perpetuates his passion for automobiles. Where Paul is honored and funds are raised for the cause he supports by racers and fans from all over the world. In Hollywood, his absence is still greatly respected and felt. Vin always makes sure to publish an homage every year. Even his daughter bears his name. It's evident that the loss still has a significant impact on Vin, who previously referred to Paul as his other half. The family's center was Paul. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, too. Who, despite his problems with the franchise, reportedly described Paul as one of the most sincere individuals he had ever encountered. Also, the fans haven't let up. In remembrance of Paul Walker, they organize Paul Walker memorial rides around the globe, when they drive their customized vehicles through urban areas. Paul is shown in murals on walls in places including South Africa, Brazil, and Japan. Fan pages continue to share his words and clips from his previous films online. These aren't only token actions. Paul's influence was evidently genuine, profound, and long-lasting. He wasn't merely a hero. He lived as though he were one. There is more to Paul's legacy than just speed, automobiles, or even films. It's about love, generosity, and action. Thus, there is a straightforward response to the question of what Paul Walker left behind. Because of him, the world continues to move and miss him. Naturally, after Meadow's appearance in Fast X, fans have started to question whether this is the first time she will appear in the series again. Is she about to enter a larger realm? No formal word as of yet. And it's exactly what it seems to be in her relationship with Vin. A connection based on mutual respect, safety, and sorrow for the man they both passionately loved. And now, one thing is evident as Meadow gradually opens up and discovers her own voice. She isn't here to contribute to the tale of another individual. Her goal is to write her own. Now, however, with Meadow taking center stage and the Fast family continuing to pay such a heavy tribute to Paul's legacy, the big questions still stand. How will the franchise's future be shaped by Paul Walker's legacy? Can Meadow continue the tradition and add a new chapter to the narrative? Most importantly, in a world that is constantly changing, how do we preserve the values of courage, kindness, and family? Tell us what you think in the comments section below. Remember to like, subscribe, and share as well. Click on the following video on your screen if you liked this one.